Hey, what's up guys, it's LaxBeat here. This is going to be the first lesson that I'm going to be giving on YouTube. I really wanted to just make a lot of videos that I could about what I've learned through YouTube, and to kind of help you guys out for people who aren't really huge on YouTube. I mean, I'm not like really big, but I have a decent amount of subscribers. I have like 1,500. And approaching 300,000 video views. So that's partially because I've had my YouTube channel for almost a year now, and that's really why I wanted to give you some tips. So this first video is about beware of whip. It's a pretty basic concept, but I just really have to stress it because I personally cannot play with whip. This pocket is a pocket I can play with right here, and the reason why is because of the angle of elevation. You can see it's a very long elevation level. Still has a decent channel, but it just doesn't have a whole lot of hold altogether. It's not the most defined pocket or anything like that, and that's because I really can't play with whip. A lot of people on YouTube like really high mid pockets with a bunch of whip, or at least like with a really tight channel, and that comes with whip evidently. The channel. So alright, so I'll just start all the way from the basics if you really don't know what you're doing. If you don't, it's not meant to be an offense. So channels really just comes out from when you pull down the mesh tight on the sides. You pull it down tight at the top until you start to make your pocket, and that's what makes the channel, is just pulling that mesh down. And the channel will come out like around like a U, kind of. This part will be tight, and this part will start to bag out a little bit, and that's how you get a channel. Right here, as you can see, the channel, the surface area, is kind of widened, and it's not like a very, very tight channel, and the pocket's lower, so it gives it more of a ramp, or has more room to incline. So it has more room to release, and that'll produce less whip. So yeah, that's that. You can kind of get a good feel if you just do like 2 fingers, or I just kind of do like put my 4 fingers together and just roll across. And that won't always give you the perfect feel for it. You really have to play with it to see how much whip it has, and really get used to it. This is actually a perfect pocket for me. The only problem is it's not with the LaxBeat mesh, so it's not waterproof, but it's fine for the summer. Really nice, really happy with the gate torque right now. But that's besides the point. I just really want to stress that you can really focus on fundamentals well if you play with less whip. And I would definitely say, like, don't go with just absolutely no whip, which some people do, but it's more for beginners. I mean, it's really like you can kind of adjust to whip, but it will really change the way you play. So I mean, I like a certain amount of whip, but I like to be able to follow through and like point off where I'm gonna pass. And that's just because I try and focus on the fundamentals, and it especially helps with my left hand. You know, if you ever have a lot of whip on your stick and try and pass either left, it's a lot harder because you have to adjust. Especially with shots on the run, you really have to bring it back and then like have a whole, I don't know, it's a lot different than playing with low whip when you're just taking a shot on the run. Unfortunately, this isn't great for outside shooting. It won't give you quite as much power, but it'll be more fundamental and work a little bit differently. Thanks. Here's a pocket I strung recently. It's about a mid-high. I meant to make it baggy. It's kind of a boat. Um, because I wanted to see. I was just screwing around with the whip and whatnot, and here is a decently whippy pocket. As you can see, a very, very, very tight channel, which some people like. It's got 2 U's, which will definitely produce a little bit of whip because it'll kind of, the ball will catch on these U's, on the sides especially, and it'll kind of hold on to that before it releases. Also, yeah, the channel's really tight. As you can see, the mesh is just pulled down. And then the pocket is pretty high up. So this is going to give you some benefit depending on the way you play, or it could hurt your game depending on the way you play. So the benefit is it's got a ton of hold. It's just like you can throw face with this any way you want, just wrap it around, and you can pull off some sweet tricks and some hard shots. The bad problem is you have to really focus on when you're passing, throwing, catching, or not really catching, but passing and shooting. You really, really have to focus and make sure that you're used to the amount of whip and you kind of have to snap it rather than following through. And sometimes you'll really have to snap it hard depending on the pocket. And I don't know, it's all in preference, like I said. You could go into looking around and see, like, I'll give 2 examples. Some really popular players. Paul Rabel uses a ton of whip. He has, like, I'm pretty sure he does like a nylon, a straight, and 2 U's with a pretty tight channel and like a mid-high pocket. Plays with a ton of whip. Mark Matthews, I have his stringing in the back, plays with very low whip, and he has a great pocket and a great stringing style. He's a very good stringer. He produces a really nice low whip pocket with a decent amount of hold. Like, it's not the same amount of hold as you'll get out of something like this, but it has a good amount of hold, and it's a really well-rounded pocket. And so that's my basic overview of whip. You really got to be careful with it, especially with like release points, whip, high pockets, mid pockets, low pockets. Like I said, I like kind of a mid-low, and that's mainly because it and not too deep of a pocket, as you can see, because that'll kind of the deeper the pocket, the more of an incline it'll